Human beings have an innate curiosity that drives us toward the unknown. But while some people view activities like skydiving, high-rise parkour, and cave exploration the same way they would view an intrusive thought, for others it is a lure, an expression of subconscious terror and fascination with the call of the void. It is easy to dismiss the tragedies of the fatally curious with an "I would never." But what if you've never experienced the right trigger? What if something, somewhere, is calling for you, and it is only by chance that you've never seen or heard it? The Enigma of Amigara Fault, or Amigara Danso no Kai, was a bonus story inked by horror mangaka Junji Ito at the end of his 2-volume series, Gyo. But where Gyo depicts the external horror of grotesque sea creatures with mechanical legs and the stench of death invading Japan, in Amigara Fault, the threat is internal. It is one thing to shut your eyes and hide from a frightening enemy. But when the enemy is your mind, it is only a matter of time before it devours you from the inside. Owaki is one of Amigara Mountain's many recent visitors. Following a major earthquake in the surrounding prefecture, a fault line had surfaced, causing a huge stir. Images of it had even been broadcast on international news. On his way up the mountain, Owaki meets Yoshida, a young woman who is also making the trek to see the unusual fracture. The two fall into friendly conversation and continue hiking together. Once they begin to hear voices, they pick up the pace and eventually enter a clearing where the fault line is exposed. Thousands of human-shaped holes stretch across the open rock face, eerily precise, uncannily familiar. It is unlikely that the holes, and so many of them, formed naturally. The probability is so small as to be impossible. But how could they be man-made? The holes stretch deep into the mountain, leaving nearby researchers unable to get a clear depth measurement. The dimensions allow only a single person to shuffle into the endless dark. Owaki, noticing Yoshida look cautiously around, asks what she's doing. Initially distracted, she admits that she is searching for a specific hole she saw in the earthquake footage on TV, because it is hers. The hole is her frame, her silhouette. Owaki is skeptical. The holes are human-shaped, but appear to have been sitting underground for thousands of years, maybe longer. How can one of them be based on Yoshida? How can they be based on anyone alive? As Yoshida's frustration begins to boil over, she lashes out at Owaki for his questions. A moment later, a man appears on the rock above them. After overhearing their conversation, Nakagaki tells Owaki and Yoshida that he, too, had felt an irresistible draw to one of the holes after seeing the footage on TV. But unlike Yoshida, Nakagaki had found his. Undeterred by Owaki's doubtful expression, Nakagaki tells him to watch as he strips down and shuffles slowly into his fated void. By nightfall, despite rescue efforts, there are no further signs of Nakagaki. Owaki sets up camp on the mountain and tries to rest, but has a nightmare. In it, he is Nakagaki, stuck hundreds of meters inside the pitch-black mountainside, with miles of space before him. He panics and cries out for help, but no one can reach him. He cannot go forward, retreat, or turn around. Screaming awake, Owaki goes to see if there is any news on Nakagaki and finds Yoshida outside his tent. She is unsettled and informs him that Nakagaki is still missing, But this isn't what bothers her. Near the foot of the mountain, away from the crowds, she has found herself, a gaping maw in the rock face. A sudden fear grips Yoshida as she grapples with the subconscious expectation that she must go in, even if she knows that once she does, she can never come out. Across the mountain, a young man ignores the cries of the nearby crowd, throwing his glasses to the dirt and vanishing into the rock. Someone else screams for help. Another person has gone in. All around Owaki and Yoshida, the instinct to crawl into the rock has caught fire, awakened. Yoshida is terrified. She does not want to die, but she has to enter the hole. Owaki, trying to reassure her, takes the time to fill the hole with rocks. Night falls again, but despite her fears, neither Yoshida nor Owaki have left the mountainside. As he holds her, Yoshida tells Owaki of the loneliness she felt growing up, and how none of it compares to the loneliness she knows lies within that place at the foot of the mountain. Owaki offers himself as a lifeline. He is with Yoshida now. She has nothing to fear. Another dream. This time, Owaki is a criminal in a distant past, sentenced to death by his tribe. They lead him to the foot of a cliff, where a line of human-shaped holes mimicking a paper chain stretches across the base. Once inside, the design only allows him to move forward, and slowly the shape of the cave begins to distort. His limbs warp and twist, neck stretching thinner and thinner. Once again, when Owaki wakes, he is alone. Throughout the story of Amigara Fault, Owaki remained a skeptic, and yet, he never left the mountain. One could make the argument that he'd planned to stay for a certain number of days, or that in the face of the compelling mystery of the holes and the death march they inspired, he could not look away. Yet when he makes his way to Yoshida's hollowed form and finds the rocks removed, realizes she is gone, one can't help but wonder why he didn't take her away from here. Perhaps, unbeknownst to him, Owaki couldn't have left, even if he'd wanted to.